Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Now Streaming, coming to you live from ACNNTV in the nation's capital city. I am Adishewa Orioye, your anchor for today, and with me in the studio is Comrade Abila Kayet, is the Executive Director of Godspeed Leadership and Mentorship Development Initiative, Glendy. And also with me is Mr. John Dunu, is a a social commentator. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And thank you for representing the culture. I love your attire.
Thank you.
You're representing which culture?
I'm representing the Baju people from Kaduna State.
Oh, that's lovely. And you, sir?
Good morning and
Yes.
good morning, viewers. Representing, of course, needless to say, the Igbo culture.
All right. All right, viewers. Well, I'm representing different culture. I'm representing color. Yeah, my own attire today is the color for different culture. Anyways, today is a special day to celebrate the vibrant tapestry of cultures that weave together the fabric of our world. World Day for Cultural Diversity, for Dialogue and Development. Let's think about it. Language that sings like music, traditions passed down through generations, food that bursts with flavor. These differences are what makes us extraordinary. But cultural diversity isn't just beautiful, it's powerful, it fosters dialogue, understanding, and yes, even development. Throughout this show, we'll be exploring these connections. We will hear stories of cultural exchange, discover how different traditions inspire innovation, and maybe even learn a new word or two in another language. So, buckle up, get curious, and let's celebrate the World Cultural Day together. Viewers, I would like to hear your own cultural experience. Please do join the conversation by calling the number showing on your screen. Also, sending your comments on our social media handles, which are also showing on your screen. Still with me in the studio is Comrade Abila Kait. Is the Executive Director of Godspeed Leadership and Mentorship Development Initiative. And Mr. John Duno. He is a social commentator. And I like the fact that you are adjusting.
Yeah. That's one because
Because now we are on to the focus of today. Today is the edition of World Day for Cultural Diversity, for Dialogue and Development. And if you can remember when we started the show, I started by asking them individually the culture they represent. And now this is to bring us to the discussion proper of culture diversity and how it helps development. So viewers, please feel free to join the show by calling the number showing on your screen. I want to hear your cultural experience and your thoughts about it. And if you don't want to call, you can also send in your opinion, your comment on our social media platform. Now, you are from
Kaduna State.
Kaduna State, and you're from which state particularly?
I'm from Enugu State.
Enugu State.
Enugu
Enugu.
State.
Okay. Well, just like I said in my introduction speech, this show will enable me to learn.
Yes. So you say it's Enugu.
Enugu.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm using Yoruba to pronounce it. And if you don't mind me that I'm not putting on my own, I would have loved to represent another culture, but I'm still representing. I'm representing the culture of journalists, of which we can put. I'm also representing the tribes that put on red. I'm sure Delta, they have red in their cultural attire, the Benin, and we have Yoruba that even as much we might not be wearing red, but we are known for pepe. Atarodo. So
You know what?
just imagine me. I'm representing a diverse culture.
Exactly.
So now I want you to tell us and how your culture has actually shaped your perspective of the world or on the world.
Okay. Like I said, I am from Kaduna State. I represent the Baju people.
Mm.
The Baju people are hospitable people. We are great farmers. We are hunters. We are loving people. Um, I have learned contentment from my culture. I have learned respect because the Boju, a typical Boju person, is very respectful. And I also have learned hard work. The Boju man find it very, very difficult to accept disrespect, and that is the reason why the Boju man want to go extra mile to fend for his family, to also find a way to develop himself and be helpful to others. Visitors find the Boju community as home because we make sure we give you the comfort of home away from home.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. And Mr. Dunu, I would like to ask, you're representing the Igbo clan from Enugu State. Are there any specific traditions or customs from your culture that you find particularly important to preserve? And before we get to the other part of this question, I want you to state that just categorically the culture you will like us to know, that maybe to preserve it, that you don't want it to be abolished, especially now that we are in a world where social media is gradually sweeping some of this culture under the carpet. What culture will you like our viewers to hear and preserve?
Happy culture, diversity, dialogue. Happy culture, diversity day, to the viewers. And well, in reacting to your question, I believe the respect for elders, because in Igbo land, we believe that the elders are custodians of our culture. All right, so the respect for elders is, and the food, the Igbo foods, those are everything centers around your question, centers around these two things: respect for elders and the food. Those are the things I wouldn't want to.
What's your favorite Igbo dish? you seem like you love food.
Then I promise you that when I've like traveled, and sometimes when I travel, I'm hungry that I cannot be able to eat. You're seeing food and you've eaten food, yet you're still hungry. But when you come to Nigeria and to my local dishes. Oh, Bob, no greasy. When you test that egusi,
okay.
When you test that bitter leaf,
okay.
Oh, Bob.
Is it what they call onubu?
Onubu soup,
okay.
Yeah. So for our viewers to
know
so
that.
egusi. But we can say egusi.
Egusi.
Some people can say agushi.
Ah.
No, but those that are not Igbo, but in Igbo language, it's a egusi. It's actually pronounced very nicely. And onubo soup. And we've got some other nice. And we've got some nice dishes as well, like nsala soup. We've got like ora soup.
Is it ora or oha?
If you like, it depends on your mother tongue. It can ora, it can be oha. Type of a scenario. You're saying something.
All right. So I want to learn for some of your local dishes too, the popular ones.
Okay.
And even the ones that are not popular. Let's hear them.
For us, we have what we call ajaju.
Ajaju.
Yes. The ajaju is popularly known as karkashi.
Karkashi.
Yes, in Hausa, but in Boju language, that's in Jew, you call it ajaju.
So what's that? What's that made of?
Okay, it is a leaf. Okay. That sometimes you make it fresh or dried. So the dried one, you prepare it using zwai. That's what we call the dawa.
Okay.
So mostly you prepare it without salt.
Because of the dawa.
Because of the dawa, the dawa is tasty, so it gives you that natural taste.
Yeah, the dawa is locals bean actually.
Oh,
yes.
And now we have kukwe.
Okay.
Yes, the kukwe is one very beautiful delicacy, and some people call it pate.
What's pate?
Pate,
Pate.
like petendoya.
Yes, just like no petendoya
Just
is yam porridge.
Oh, yam porridge.
So
Okay.
for ours is pate. We use corn. The grind it into smaller particles.
That's what Yoruba will call egbo.
Okay,
Yes,
so we
that's
call
what
it
Yoruba.
pukwe.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, when
It
you
is
eat
nice.
pukwe from Kaduna State, from Bajulan, unfortunately the pukwe and ejaju, it's like a common food within the southern Kaduna region, and we have about 54 tribes in the southern Kaduna region alone. So
alone
54.
Yeah, 54 tribes in the southern Kaduna region. So and there is one other local delicacy we call ahu, and is kunu in Hausa, and sometimes some people call it kunum pimpus. So as in the one you use millets
or the kunun jeda.
Okay, kunun jeda is not our food.
It's not your food per se.
Yeah.
I actually grew up in Kaduna. I was born in Kaduna actually.
Okay.
We still own a house in Kaduna. I had beautiful experience in growing up in Kaduna. So this pate reminds me, Bob. It reminds me the primary school days that, bruh, your parents will just give you some change, so we just focused to go and buy pate. So it was a very good experience actually.
One thing about
you did ask a question.
Yes.
About what tradition would you want to
preserve? Yes.
Okay. For me, for the Boju people, the way we settle dispute is one thing I would love to see that remain. Because if there is any issue between a brother and a brother, a community versus another community, there is this round table way of resolving issue, and we call them we don't call them elders, we call them bagado. As in, they are people who represent clans. So they find a way of addressing issues, without being biased, being very objective. And for the punishment measures, I want the punishment measures to be maintained to an extent that, okay, if you have done something wrong, they find a way to fine you, because Christianity has come in. So instead of you asking you to bring goat or cow or chicken or whatever, now they ask you to buy malt, and just whatever it is, elders like, okay, see, we have forgiven you, and they will take the malt in the place of the goat or burkutu. That burkutu is something that you can't take away. So these are some of the things I
and this promotes dialogue.
Cherish.
This promotes unity, because we are speaking on cultural diversity for dialogue and development. So this preserve dialogue, this preserve unity. We are in a world where dispute, actually, maybe we are trying to copy the Western world, but dispute, you see husband and wife dispute now on social media, everybody is reading about the story, or you see husband or wife, a lot of drama. They don't, it's not like before that the elders will sit, they will respect the elders. You see where a man said, you can't talk to me, you don't pay my bills, you don't give me money, or the wife will say, you can't, there is this. So when we have cultural preservations, or this promotes it actually helps dialogue and also promotes unity, and it falls back to development.
Exactly.
Also
conflicts, way to conflict resolution.
Resolution,
it's a very
seamlessly.
Exactly.
That not all the community even needs to know what's
happening,
actually going on.
That's right.
So one thing I picked from all of this discussion, when we talk about when we talk about how it shaped our perspective, how our culture shaped our perspective, the food, there's something that comes to mind. The common Nigerian man is known for hard work, even outside the shores of Nigeria. Or should I say, if I'm to widen the scope now, African man. But let me speak for Nigeria. We are known to excel out there. So when you're talking about your culture that shapes you in terms of hard work, resilience, commitment, all of this. We also have the Igbo clans. We know them. You know that there is nothing they cannot do. Legally, they just come out of something. So I think it's a round of applause to our culture, because this brings unison, we think, and respect. African man loves respect.
Exactly.
They love respect. So I see the unison in this. We might speak different languages, but we all mean one thing.
Exactly.
Love, respect, peace, unity. We just hope there will be a time where we'll move past some of these resolved issues between, we still have which the politicians actually use when it comes to their time, the tribalism card and all of that. We just hope we will see past this, that we are all one, because when Nigeria comes together and they want to support somebody, they put away tribe or anything. You have you noticed that oneness? I can give you
exactly.
Will be side.
Do you understand?
Exactly.
So nobody is even seeing Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba. Nobody, or TV, or nobody is seeing that. So when we will see that it's just different language but one voice, I think they won't use that card on us anymore.
Exactly.
Now let's move on to viewers. I'm still here to hear from you and read your comments. Please do feel free to call the number showing on your screen, and also share your opinion. What is your cultural shock? I'm so sure we all have cultural shocks. There are some things that you discover about the other person's culture and be like, oh, this is happening. So please, I would like to hear from that. Now, let me ask the people in the studio. For growing up, other culture or other tribes, they find it funny when they hear the Yoruba people that we use broom to match a vegetable.
Yes.
They find it funny that is it a broom that you
It's sweepy.
That's all that. Oh, that's dirty. That's messy. A lot of tribes actually that is that possible? That's cultural shock for some persons. So they not knowing that you don't use the broom you used to sweep. It's actually a new broom that is you cut it equally to the sharp, very sharp, and you use it to match the vegetable for it to mix. Even though we have a food processor now taking place, blenders are now doing that work, so we are no more doing that. but it's still there.
But that culture shouldn't go, bro.
It shouldn't go. It shouldn't go. So what is your cultural shock of that's another culture? It might be yours. I'd like to know.
Well, I'm not a food lover. Sometimes I don't eat the whole day. I actually take my dinner very seriously. So, but like I said previously, I traveled, and even though you're in a hotel and the food, so you see some kind of food, and you begin to have some sort of nostalgic feelings about your home. So the cultural shock. I can just base it on that type of a meal. One man's food is another man's, you know what I mean? So the food that I've eaten, this kind of what do you eat? You know what I mean? So
when we take it to our brothers outside, like we're talking about the Asian world.
Yeah.
Food. You'll see the worms and
I promise somebody eating
the oyster. Okay, which is
oh my word! You see somebody like sometimes eating live stuffs, and they say people eat cockroaches, people eat frogs, people eat bats, and those stuffs. Those are culture shock for me. I promise you. So yeah, basically.
What is your culture shock?
Okay. For me, I have not really experienced too much cultural shock here, but from the videos I watch, from activities that I see, just like you have said, okay, imagine frogs. And that is a beautiful delicacy for some people.
You know what I mean?
So like that, and in fact they advertise it.
Yes.
And there is a way you see people get
Gosh,
excited.
yes. It is even
because-
expensive
because they have
Exactly.
the opportunity
to eat it.
Okay, well, I think I've experienced a cultural shock.
Okay.
This manua, there is this worm
Okay.
that is inside manua, and the baggy people and Kadara people, they eat it very well. So some of them do come to my village then growing up. So they'll bring it up. They'll no. So to a large extent, I
It's a
don't
cultural
drink
shock.
water in that house. Talk more of eating
Anything.
So it boils down to food.
it boiled down to food. So as I see the worms, they will be very excited.
Don't
as if
eat it.
It's
a special
very
delicacy
special
for-
delicacy.
Exactly.
wow.
And they go to where Fulani men usually keep their cows, and so these worms will be there, more especially the ones they gathered and put in one place. So and they will just open and they will picking it, and you see them excited about it. So I think that is one experience I've had growing up.
Anyway, aside now, we discussed the food aspect of cultural shock. There are also way of life. This is not to frown at people's culture, because there's always this controversies. I think last year when a particular celebrity mentioned, it was more like a cultural shock. She was actually from that state. A lot of people might be from a state and they know growing up they had some of this culture, but they are not maybe she married someone from the state. So she was like this particular tribe. They use their wife as a to entertain their visitor. I don't want to mention the state. So but it caused a lot of controversy. So
Is that real? For real?
yes, according
Allegedly.
to them. Well,
I've never seen anyone that said, "Oh, this really happened."
well, I've had that over time, and it has caused controversy. So it's a cultural shock, but she was just saying it, and people from that region actually tried to correct her, and they're like, people are not even practicing. Maybe they are, maybe those that are maybe staying there, and those that are not civilized enough or something, and they know it as part of their culture. But now, because of it's a cultural shock to you, does not mean you should frown at it or like, oh, this is distasteful. I think that was why people were actually angry. So cultural shock, it can go on and on. It's something that you're not used to.
Exactly.
It's just like growing up. There are some kind of behavior I can portray, and you see it as it's something different. And one of the cultural shock again that is, I don't know if it is universal, but in this generation and older generations, we have, when a father does not tell the child, I love you. So in this generation, it's becoming pronounced. But older generation, it's weird when they talk about it, like, Daddy, have you told me I love you before? They'll be like, I showed that I love you. So it's cultural shock to some people who grew up with their dad telling them that, oh, I love you, my daughter. I love you, my son. To some people, will be like, that's weird. That's there's something that is going on. So cultural shock can actually go on and on and on. We were talking about to move forward because we've spent a lot of time.
Okay, I think I just want to address something. You see, the scenario just brought in, civilization take phases.
Okay.
So it's possible this had happened some many years back ago, not currently what is happening. I have had people who frown very strongly about that. I know the ethnic group we're talking of, and they have. I don't think that practice is still on.
Okay.
It's something that probably was done long way back.
All right then. Moving forward, I mentioned something earlier that politicians use the tribalism card when they want to campaign for their election when it's time, and sometimes it gets the better part of us. Now, sometimes these cultural differences can lead to misunderstandings, and now we want to, in just few 1 or 2 minutes talk about how we can celebrate our unique tradition while also promoting inclusivity and respect. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, so
So we can leverage
mm-hmm.
on our rich culture in Nigeria. Imagine he said they've got 54 languages.
Yes.
Exactly. Just
Only-
one region.
Just in Kaduna State.
In Kaduna State.
All right. So imagine this culture there. All right. So we should leverage on that and try to promote, because our tourism industry in Nigeria is not really working at the
That's right.
moment.
Yes.
That's right.
Which is
Our,
bad.
it's very terrible.
There are a lot of beautiful places in
Exactly.
Nigeria where people will pay to come to.
Yes, and this will create employment,
Revenue.
revenue to, So we should think out of the box and make use of our rich cultures in Nigeria and make Nigeria a tourist destination for culture. Yes.
All right. So do you have?
Okay. We all know what is happening within communities, more especially in Northwest and North Central. And cultural celebration is one very important area that could be used to promote unity and also canvas against the insecurity that is ravaging the region. Now, like I said, we have 54 ethnic groups within the Southern Kaduna region, and last year the Southern Kaduna people decided to do Southern Kaduna Unity Festival, where all the 54 ethnic groups participated. And now, look at Abuja Carnival. We usually have Abuja Carnival where you see state troops, get into the capital city and make the city very lively. Now, you don't hear about Argungun Fishing Festival again
Anymore.
and other festivals.
Even
now,
the Calabar Festival.
Yes, what can we do differently? See, we can have International Food Festival that will be able to encourage the display of every kind of delicacy, like that. So the cultural exchange between embassies, within the country and the country is something that should, take a center place when we're having such events. What about local designer festivals where, you assemble, because our culture, our dress our sense of dressing is also part of our culture. So we could promote, our culture and also get to, know about other people and culture. So what I'm saying, if we are very intentional about this, then we'll be able to use that to, promote quite a lot. We can promote education, and we can also attract some form of development, just like the French village in Badagry. It's doing quite a lot, and we can, as well do so many other things using the cultural ties between us and people around us.
Just to, promote more development using our cultural diversity. Anyways, we can go on and on and on and on speaking about our culture. It is not something that just 1 hour is enough to discuss this, but I want to thank our guests for their insights and the beauty of their acknowledgement of the beauty of the cultural diversity. There is power. So I want to thank you for your contributions, and I think I've learned 1 or 2 things. I love the Igbo delicacy, and I'll be looking forward to tasting some of yours.
I hope it won't be a cultural shock.
Well, I love food, so it might not. I'll eat the one my stomach can carry. All right, and to our viewers, thank you for joining us for today. I'm sure we've learned about the importance of dialogue, the spark of innovation that comes from cultural exchange, and the ways our traditions can actually build a stronger, more vibrant, and remember that celebrating cultural diversity is not just a day event. Like I said, it's not even something we can even talk for 1 hour. It's a continuous thing. And our delicious exploration of different cuisines and the commitment to understanding and respecting each other's story is very key and paramount. Just like we said, cultural shock to you, but it is the way of life for us here, so you don't have to frown at it.
Exactly.
And I can enjoy your dish. If I don't like it, I'll tell you, okay,
Thank
subtle
you.
way, and just to encourage dialogue and peace. We don't have to fight to
Exactly.
make a point, because
Exactly.
we all one, if you look at it. So let's keep the conversation going. Share your cultural experiences online, and reach out to someone from a different background, or simply try a new recipe from another part of the world, like I've booked for some yeah. Every little bit of curiosity and connection adds to the richness of our shared tapestry. Together, by embracing our differences, we can build a stronger and more vibrant and innovative future for us all. I am Adeshewa Orioye. Bye for now.